Do you keep dying in ranked and don't know why? If so, you've come to the right place. Today I'm going to be teaching all of you how to end fights in the fastest way possible. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure you are subscribed. But with that, let's get into the video. So obviously every fight in a ranked game is going to be different, but one thing that is always guaranteed to happen is someone trying to take a wall. So let's show you all the best way to take walls. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to the opponent's box. This is the player that I'm fighting and this is me. I'm going to go up to the box and I'm going to place 2 cones in the box that I want to peek from. So right here, I'm going to place 2 cones, one above and one below me. Then I'm going to place a wall in between me and him so that obviously he can't shoot back at me, and I'm going to place a cone below me and a roof above me. And now, since I did this, as you can see, I make a peanut butter edit. And since I'm on such a great peak, when I set this up, I can literally just spray with my AR and then steal the wall from a great peak. Also notice how I make a complete wide edit, but I swing back to the left. I swing left so that he can't shoot back at me, because imagine he just has his gun out, he's just going to shoot right back at me. Then since now I'm in a good position, I can jump and take my first shot that I've now cracked him. After this, the wall breaks and I'm eventually able to grab it again from a safe spot, but notice how I swing to the left again. This means that even when I edit, as you can see from his POV, he literally cannot see me. This is his POV right now. He can't see me. But from my POV, I can completely see him, as you can see, and I can take a shot before him and I'm able to pick up a simple elimination. Now you're probably asking yourself, what if this doesn't work and the player wants to double edit and go out through the top? Now, if the player attempts to run out the top, if you have these 2 tiles right here, the cone and the floor, what you can do is when he moves onto these tiles, double edit the 2 tiles. What this will do is it will make him always fall into the box that he zeroes, because if you remember previously, you built this entire box, so he's going to fall into it and you already have a peanut butter set up. That means that you could crack him. But notice as soon as I crack this player and get my shot off, I instantly reset the wall, because look, he turns at me and he shoots back at me. If I didn't do that, he gets a crack on me and then it's a 50-50. And then after moving into that old space, obviously I can go to steal the wall, and then I am able to make a simple wide edit and then finish off the fight. So make sure if the player double edits above you, you're doing this. Another great way to end up winning more fights is by reading the player's body language. Now what that means is just reading the direction the player is facing in order to piece control that area up. For example, in this fight right here, obviously this player is on high ground and I'm on low ground. Now I have a caddy launcher, so obviously I'm going to shockwave onto height. When I do this, this player grapples and he slides off in this direction and he 180s and looks in this direction. This means that more than likely he's going to grapple back right into this area. Because if he doesn't, obviously he'll just fall and he'll die. So I read that he's going to go in that direction by his body language. So when I see him grapple back, I know he's going in that area. So I get 1 shot off and I place a wall so that it stops his momentum. And then when he lands on that wall, obviously he's going to try to build, right? To try to not get pieced up. But since he has his map out, I can now full wide edit and piece control him up and then get a second shot and then get a nice 200 and finish off that fight. Moving on from box fighting techniques, let's talk about another great way to win more fights, and that is by cutting off angles. Now notice me entering this fight. When I shockwave on this player, I'm going to land on the back side of this fight. That means that I pinch these 2 players, but most importantly, I build this off and I build the right side of his box off. This means that he has no exit route, and again, I place another exit route and I cut it off. This means that he literally has nowhere to go. Now after I get these cones, I'm going to make sure to force him out of the box, and the best way to do that is to steal his cone. So I go up and I steal his cone and I just play patient. Notice how I'm not editing it at all. I'm just looking at him and waiting for him to make a move. And then when I see him edit, obviously he realizes he can't go this way. After looking in that direction, he realizes he can't go that way. So that forces him to leave the box again, and he tries to go out in the right direction. But as I mentioned before, I've cut off that angle. So if he walks into it, obviously I can just double edit and then I have a free shot and then I can crack him. And then again, my positioning is perfect. So that means this player is now pinched and he's pinched in between 2 players. And eventually I'm able to spray through and pick up a simple kill just because I cut off a few angles. Now, one of the best ways to just become a better player in general is with your crosshair placement. Now, this is especially important when you're using something like the charged shotgun, because obviously it takes time to charge up, so you need to have the confidence to put your crosshair in the right position. And I'm going to do something very simple. When I drop onto this player's wall, notice how I'm going to start swinging my pickaxe before I fall. This means that by the time I land, I hit 1 swing, and then by the time I land, I'm already on my 2nd swing. This gives him no time to react at all. So that means that I can steal the wall before, as you can see right there, he's just pulled out his map, but I pulled out my builds faster and I'm able to steal the wall. But you're probably asking yourself, when does the crosshair placement come into play? Right here, I make a wide edit, and this player obviously flips up the cone. Now, majority of players will always flip up their cone and they will reset because they want to get a shot back at you. This player does exactly that, but notice how my crosshair is already near him. This means that I have to do little work if he does edit on me, and when he edits, I already have my charge ready and I can take a shot and end off the fight without taking any damage. When I'm on this player's wall, notice where my crosshair is the entire time. It's always going to be on the player. Notice how it's just always on him, because if he edits, I know that I'll be able to get the shot off first. Like right here, since I have my crosshair already on him, I can get my shot off first. And if you were to compare this to the other player that had to make the edits, as you can see, he's nowhere near me, and that means that I always shoot first and win the fight. Another very great trick you guys should all learn is the Pokeball. Basically, what the Pokeball is when someone goes onto high ground and they're on an elevated layer and they don't have a cone in their box, what you can do is, instead of obviously going up trying to steal their wall, you can go under them and place a cone. What this will do is it will trap them in this little area below the cone. And then obviously you can break out the floor, and since this is all yours, you can drop them into your box, and then obviously that will just feed you a free kill and save you a lot of time and mats. Another way to be a great fighter is by playing a box away. One example is right here. As I'm trying to steal this player's wall, obviously I throw a ramp in his face to block his shot, but I'm going to swing on this right wall. Notice how I swing right when he swings right. This means that it counters his peek, and I'm going to steal this wall. Now, when I steal this wall, I'm not going to push into this space. If I push into this space, I get rid of my advantage because he has this wall. So I make sure to stay at this distance so that I keep my advantage. And then I make a window edit, and I'm going to play from this window edit. Also, make sure you have a cone on your floor because this won't work if you don't have a cone. And since I'm a box away, I can grab this wall and then wide edit. Notice how I swing to the left just in case he does peek me. That way he doesn't get big damage on me. And then when he tries to double edit up, I can spray that ramp that he's standing on from a good angle. And then he's going to be forced to swing me. See how he starts to swing me when I'm already spraying? That means that obviously I have the advantage and I can just spray him to death. Also, if you want to make fights easier for you in general, stick to getting to the front of zone before you fight. What that means is that you always get to look back at the other players. Notice how I prioritize my rotation before everyone else. This means that they're always going to be caught behind me and I can look back at them. Notice the amount of times I'm going to be able to look back at this player. I'm going to speed it up so you understand. I pause here once and I'm going to hold this player in zone again. I make a wide edit and I can just look at him while staying protected. And then when he has to move, obviously I can spray him. That's not the only chance I get. Since he's at the back of zone again, I get to crack him now. And then again, I'm going to focus on my rotate. Since he's at the back of zone, now I go first. I get myself in before him. This means that again, I can hold him again and then spray him. Eventually, at this point, he's too weak and then he builds up in wood. And then eventually, I'm able to spray him out, chop him into my box, and pick up a free elimination. So that is going to wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys are subscribed. And if you do want to see more content like this, you can go check out these other two fighting videos. And with that, I'll see y'all later. Peace.